That, by the way, is Marantz Super Audio CD Track 6. I have no idea what it actually is. This is an Amazon Echo Studio. And I should be okay, because you shouldn't hear the word echo and freak out. So, little brief history lesson on Amazon and its devices. We start life here. This was the original Echo Dot. I think it might be a Gen 2. I don't know. What's the year in this? Luxembourg. Tax shelter. But anyway, very simple. USB powered. This was the default, and it was able to read your news and, turn on your lights. And it was great. It was a great little thing. But then people, fucking assholes that they are, started playing music on it. And everyone was like, no. No. So, Amazon developed this, which is like the slightly bigger version, more focused on output. So no longer powered by USB. Now it requires a 12-volt transformer. So you get, you double the voltage and you can control how much amperage you need. Because remember, when you power something with USB, you got to assume it can run on a USB hub. And the lowest common denominator USB hubs still have to be able to power this, so it's weak. It's weak sauce. And it still is weak. I use this in this room. This one goes here because I don't play music with it. We're going to get to the overarching solution. Hashtag Bluetooth, anything. But we're going to talk about this first. So that was outed. Then they came up with this. This is not the one with the clock in it. They have one with a clock face behind the fabric. And it does look nicer, and it comes in multiple colors. But 12 volt means this thing can actually put out some, I'm going to say decent audio, but I'm going to be like, it's decent audio compared to like most Bluetooth other things this size. Now we're going to pretend that there's a couple other things on this table. They made a tall version of this, and they made a tall version of this, and they made like another version. And then finally, Amazon caught up and put out the Studio. See, let me divert from the Amazon history of it, and we'll talk about what the world was doing. You see, the whole world went fucking nuts when Apple brought out the HomePod. I remember, it was, 2 years ago? It was like, oh my god, the new sound of home. Everyone needs it. It's got a driver, and it's got 7 directional tweeters, and it's like, oh my god, this is the HomePod. And I've never actually heard a HomePod, so, because none of my friends would buy I think it was, $500 at the time? It was a lot. HomePod, it'll sit by. Let's see what it is now. I will just assume it was like 40% higher than that when it first came out. $300. Okay, so they've come down in price. So, HomePod pops up. Everyone starts freaking out. Apple's reinvented the wheel again. And they haven't. They put together a very, very, very complicated and expensive. It was more expensive than $300 for sure. Unless I'm wrong, would you tell me? Essentially Bluetooth speaker, but it's a smart speaker. So, it's got the same functionality as all the other things. Google was the first to legitimately combat, and that was with their Google Home Max. They made a Google Home, which was a little thing like this, and they came out with the Google Home Max, and that's got two 4.5 inch front-firing drivers and tweeters in a front-firing array in this whole big thing. It's deep, and it's got waveguides for bass, and it's like, oh yeah. And you could fill your space. You can orient it vertical or horizontal, etc., etc., etc. What does it say here? You can go even wider with a stereo image. I don't believe the HomePod can do that. I might be wrong. I don't know. I didn't spend a lot of time researching anything Apple because I have to be on their website. But you could do this. Now, how much does this son of a bitch cost? Buy $299. So again, it's a $300 speaker. So we got the HomePod for $300. We got this for $300. And Amazon went from... Oh, there's also Sonos, by the way. Now has a 2nd gen smart speaker with the built-in Alexa. That's on Amazon. And here's what happened. Amazon had this, then this, and slightly taller versions of this, but they just couldn't compete with the HomePod or the Google Max. So what do? Well, they say we need to build this. But development of a super speaker, I think Amazon was caught with their pants down. So Amazon didn't deliver this till recently. What they delivered was this. This is an Echo Sub. And I bought one immediately. I was like, oh shit. And what it is a down-firing 6.5. Boom, you could kind of see it in there. I hope you can see it in there. And it's a heavy beast of a fucking machine. And all it has is a power plug and a button. And if I was hoping it would be more than that, I was hoping that this $130 subwoofer, because you can't find a six. Keep in mind, Amazon does a lot of things like to cost, or they don't profit a lot from it. They want to keep you in their environment, so they're giving you deals. That's why those Fire phones and things were like $100. So this comes out, and the job of it is you could take it and pair it with one or two of the smaller Echo Dots. And these are a joke for audio, don't even bother. But these were actually interesting. Because what you do is you go on the app, you pair one or two, and I actually bought specifically two of them. I have the other one in the other room. Bought two, and you'd go into the app and you'd say, I have these two, and now you plug this in, it gets found, it says, what do you want to do with this? Add it to this group. So you'd have two more robust, decent Bluetooth speakers. You'd be able to pair them to a sub. They would pair in stereo all over Wi-Fi, and then this would connect completely over Wi-Fi, and you'd have a 2.1. And it only cost you, these were like, when they were on special, they're like $35, $35. So you're looking at $70 for that, $130 for that, $200 out the door. You've got a rather bass kicking it low-end system. Here is the problem. I didn't like the way that it blended everything together. They were putting too much of the load on the sub, and that means the sub needs to be like in the middle, or else you could hear where the sub is. And this'll shake your room. And one of the other things that disappointed me fucking endlessly was the fact that, okay, you give me this sub, please just give me a 3.5 millimeter input. Could you imagine how many more of these would sell if I could say, hey, did you get those Edifier speakers I recommended? Yeah, well, you should buy one of these Amazon subs for $130 so you can plug in and just plop that bitch under your desk. And now you have a actual robust subwoofer to attach to it as well. But Amazon didn't do that. So I'm going to put this to the side. I might refer to it again in a second. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put that there. And now we're going to talk about these. Now, I'm going to review it as one. But as you can see, the wallpaper also matches what I'm talking about. These big, giant jugs. Now, I bought these, both of them, because that's what the Patreon and the Subscribe Star are for. They're for Zeos to go, I should buy this, and I should buy that, and I should buy this, and I should review this, and I should buy it as a pair. So, this is the Echo Studio, $200. So, $100 less than the Max, and $100 less than the Pod, or the HomePod. And what does it have going for it? Because, I mean, there's a 7 array tweeters in the HomePod. Well, this has 5 drivers. A down-firing, just like the sub. Actually, I'll pick this one up because it's not plugged in. 5 1/4 down there. So that's no joke. That's Bucard S200s, the Kef Q100s, the Yamo S803s. What else here is 5 1/4? I believe those Atom Audio T5Es are either 5 or 5 1/4. So that's no joke. Down-firing bass / mid-bass. It's not. There is a lot of tech in this. Let's go to the videotape. So there's what we're looking at inside of one of these. You've got a down-firing neodymium. Even though when the magnet structure is that small, it's neodymium magnets. It would have to be bigger if it was regular ferrite magnets. We've got 2 side-firing drivers, 1 top-firing driver, and then the thing that made me actually interested, a front-firing soft dome tweeter, which you can just make out in the perfect light. You can see that there's perforations there. And what that means is you get a very, very advanced speaker that took them forever to produce. See, Amazon had this going for them. People were buying Amazon products not just for music because they use them for everyday things. So was I. Then they were like, oh, let's do it for music. Oh shit, we gotta do it for music. And they spent the time to engineer this, and they engineered it pretty goddamn properly. Because just like my own wall switches in the living room, you have a semi-omnidirectional. The down-firing low end, you have exhaust through front and rear ports. And that's not just low end. This is not just a bass driver, because those little 2-inch or whatever they're using are not going to, fill in Barry White levels of mid-tone. They're there to give you, when you're using a single unit like I'm using, which there's like a slight delay. Actually, if I go to my headphone demo.
Left, right.
When I do left, right, it sounds like here. Left, right. It's obviously not like real speakers, but this driver and this driver are telling you, because there's 3 inline drivers. Actually, there's the bass driver, the tweeter, and the top driver are all the same axis. Only those left and right drivers get to take over and try to give you that impression of stereo. And placement is everything. So not having the HomePod here, not having the Google Max here, just having this here, I can tell you that I'm pretty fucking satisfied for $200. I know a lot of people who just use like little shitty Bluetooth speakers or hanging around. This destroys them. And I could tell you that I run this pair with the sub and just skip the sub. It does get down lower, but it does another thing. You can't control the crossover. One of the reasons I'm not going to recommend the sub for most people is you don't get to play with it. Amazon and every of these companies just think you're dumb. You don't know what crossover frequencies are. You don't get you just more bass. Oh, there's more bass, less bass. No, give me a fucking frequency response number in the app. The apps could be so powerful if they wanted to be, and they're just not. Back onto this as a singular $200. Is it worth it? Yes. The ultimate place I found for it is in a corner, diagonal, because that way you have the left and right speakers shooting out and hitting the 45, and you get a little bit wider image of stereo. Now, one of the reasons you look for something like this, I've mentioned talking about getting room correction is going to be the future of audio. Like speakers, all these speakers, anything that's a powered speaker there, like the MTMI louds, is going to require it to room correct, to be perfect. And this had given me a little bit of a pain in the dick when I first got it, because you plug it in, and the first thing it does, it goes, we're finding your Wi-Fi. I found your Wi-Fi. Good. You check the app. The app's good. Okay. Matching your room acoustics, and it makes a bunch of sounds. It makes like a door chime. And then it's like, now we're set for your room. And I'm like, but wait, I had you on the coffee table because I was just plugging you in to test you out. That's not your final position. And for the longest time, the only way to get it to do room correction for the position it was in was to go in the app and deactivate this device and factory reset with holding down these 2 buttons for 20 seconds. And I didn't want to do the review. I've had these for a while, and I just thought that's the stupidest fucking thing. Stupidest fucking thing ever is to require every time you move it to do a factory reset. A factory reset. Rename it, repair it, redo I timed the process. It was a 7 or 8 minute process every time you move this around. And then I get an update, and it's like, you no longer need to do that to reprogram the thing, because it should have been just hold these 2 buttons and it does the effect. Now, you don't have to do anything. You just let it play in a new area, and after a certain amount of time, which I don't know what that is, but after a certain amount of time, you notice that it starts sounding better and better and better. Oh. Because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 microphones, if I can count properly. 2, yes, 7. See? 7's the magic number. In 6 minute abs, you can't even get your heart going. 7's where it's at. And they're just constantly listening. And I don't know how maybe they're sneaking in pulses, or they know what the signal that's coming in. Because DSP, if you thought you understood DSP, just try running a 5-driver system that's using 7 correctional microphones to process the numbers and crunch down. And the thing is, they could even send the processing out to Amazon, which I'm sure is what they're doing. I don't think they're processing DSP correction on the unit. They're probably just, because you can't use it without the internet. Well, you can. That's why I have it plugged in with a fiber optic. But we'll talk about that in a second. but it's processing your room effects, sending it out and saying, okay, this is what's going to sound best. We guess. Yeah, it's a guess. It's always a guess. So you run one, you put it anywhere you want, you let it play for 5-6 minutes, and then you assess. Then you move it. You let it play for 5-6 minutes, and you assess. That's the way I'm advising you to use this. Now, $200, what do you get? You get a plug on the back. You get a USB input, output. Actually, you know what? I don't know what that USB is for. I feel like I should know, and I don't, and I apologize for being me and not knowing what that is. But I'm sure someone in the comments will be like, Zio says obviously blah, 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 blah. In here, you get an auxiliary/optical port. So you can run a 3.5mm aux cable into this, and it will run stereo off of your phone or a portable player or an old CD Walkman or a mini disc or a Dreamcast. I'm always going to go back to mini discs and Dreamcasts because I love my Dreamcast is hooked up to my CRT. Fuck you. Now here's the thing. I talk about DSPs, right? Digital signal processing. So if you put analog into this, like I was doing previously in my living room, when I do the sound demo, there's a sound demo for these in the description, and there'll be a sound demo out tomorrow. I simply took a adapter, and I'll try to find these on Amazon to link them. It's a 3.5mm mono to an RCA, and then I had to adapt it to a right angle because it was being broken. And I would just plug that in, and I hooked this up to one end of a DAC. And then I hooked the other one up to another end of a DAC. And then I just had a stereo pair of speakers. They had individualized volume controls, as you can see here. The ring, which is currently muted, I should say. Because if I don't mute it, then I could say, and I apologize for this, Alexa, how popular is YouTube?
Here's something I found on Wikipedia. Jacksepticeye is one of the most popular YouTube channels on a website called YouTube. Did that answer your question?
Absolutely not.
Thanks for your feedback.
Okay, put that back on mute. So the red ring is because it's muted, because I don't really use these particular ones for like my everyday, hey, are my packages going to be here? So, and they actually look really cool with that glowing red ring. But you could obviously leave it off if you wanted. Where was I? Analog input. So, DAC, digital to analog conversion. The problem is, anything you put analog into this is going to need to be converted from analog to digital to be fucked with to 5 speakers, and then back to analog for the actual amplification. So you're way better off not entering the analog input realm. I mean, if you're just plugging into it and that's whatever. If you're going to use it on its own wireless, you're going to just yell at Spotify, put Spotify on your phone, please send this to the studio. That's fine. That's all digital as it is. There is a slight quality increase, which you're not really going to hear it in the sound demo because I had it hooked up to like an EL DAC. So even if there's a loss between the analog to digital and back to analog conversion, I was feeding it such a clean signal it didn't matter, and it was only using one channel per side. But when you plug it in fiber optic, and you need to buy either a fiber optic adapter that goes to 3.5mm Toslink, or, hold on, I'll plug this back in. I will link that. Or they sell full cables that just end in 3.5. Then you can find the hole, that. You can see it lights up white for a second, and this pulses. And now I have my computer, which, is running FooBar and FLAC. And it just doesn't know any different. It just thinks it's a DAC with speakers attached and an amp. So I can play, and I want you to note, let me go to a louder song, because I want you to note the delay for me hitting enter to the time it plays music, because we're going to talk about living room use and why this is sort of kills it. That delay, only takes 10 seconds to initiate sleep. If I play now, it's still fine. It's ready to go. Some Carpenter Brute is up. But if I sit here and talk for 10 seconds, and it only takes 10, and there's no signal coming into it, the studio goes, I'm going to go back to not running. And right now, if I hit play again, so that delay is murderous when you're doing any sort of external inputs. Because I was legitimately going to tell people, you know what? $200, I would rather see people put this in front of their television and input fiber optic and use it as a soundbar-ish. And you have to control the volume either with the buttons or yelling out into the Alexa, set volume 7. See, the volume goes down and it's 7. So you'd have to do that while watching TV. The problem with that is that delay. I mean, if you watch TV constantly, there wouldn't be a big issue. But if you ever like just pause or mute, or you go to a channel where it's quiet for 10 seconds, it's going to shut off. And also, my biggest problem was when I had these paired in stereo, because in the app, these were paired. These were a pair. Nothing played off of Spotify or anything. If I said, Alexa, play music, they played as a pair. But you plug in fiber optic to one of them, and only this one plays. And I'm like, fuck! Why? Why, Echo? Why Amazon? Just make the one digital signal side go to that one wirelessly. Because the Echo Studio, the Echo, what the hell is it called? Fark, the box that is like a little control box. I literally have one in the other room. It's got to get reviewed. Oh, God, my brain. So many words and Echoes and Studios and Amazons. Whatever. That thing has an optical input. So I know it can accept an optical input and then dish it out. So why can't this just transfer? Because then it would be even better. Then you can just buy 2 of them, keeping in mind that the cost of 2 of these is $400, which happens to be right in the ballpark of Atom Audio T5Es. I mean, they do a little bit more. They do a little bit more as far as room correction. You can talk to it. It could become a Samuel L. Jackson if you need it to. But they look good. And they do make sound different than a speaker. Like, let me get into the Bluetooth rant right now. These aren't needed. And I think Amazon knew that. I think Jeff Bezos looked at his little fucking Amazon Dot, went, yeah, but that's all you need, because you could just either plug in through this 3.5mm another speaker or Bluetooth. In my bedroom where I sleep, I have got an Echo Spot 5, a round one with a screen, and I thought that was the coolest, most expensive fucking stupid thing ever, because it's a ball with a round screen. It's like Spaceballs the clock. Spaceballs the alarm clock. And I had to have it for $170 fucking dollars. And eventually they went, this is stupid. They made a square one that's, you know, an actual cell phone screen. That's like $100. And I'm like, shit, I bought one of those too. But I have Spaceballs the alarm clock, and it's Bluetoothed 1.5 feet to my Swan H3As. M3As. My bad. M3As. You know, the $1,200 Bluetooth best speakers I've ever fucking heard. So that would work with this one, or this one, or any other Amazon Echo device. Will Bluetooth to a speaker. Linked in the description of this video will be, hi Future Zeos, a short list of amazing Bluetooth speakers. iLoud Micros, Vanuatu T0s. I would sort of put mini rigs in there, but those are more like portable things and like leave alone. So, I mean, I don't care. I'll put it all on the list. And if you have even the shittiest leftover bullshit Echo, it should still be Bluetooth 4, and I'll double check that. But it should be Bluetooth 4. And that means no matter the cheapness, you can just tell it to be speakers, and it just is amazing speakers. It just is. It's amazing speakers now. This had to be done against probably Jeff Bezos' will, because that man does not fall behind on shit. This had to be done because Apple did it, and because Google did it, and they're part of the big 3 fucking tech conglomerates, and if they don't do it, someone's going to look at them and go, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why aren't you doing this? Why don't you, fuck. He had to probably throw his sheets off and make it on the phone. I'm assuming Jeff Bezos literally has, his hand is a phone, and he's got it in microphones and shit implanted. Yeah, make a good speaker so we can compete with these assholes, and we'll charge $100 less. All right, goodbye. And then these were born. And I think for $200, if you don't have access to Bluetooth speaker, if you want something different, absolutely, this is worth $200. Because you're going to pay $35, $40 for that if it's not on sale. So they're looking at an upgrade of like $160. And does this sound better than this, you bet your fucking ass. Now, I'm going to switch gears and now talk about a pair of them. Because, as the wallpaper can show you, a pair of these is going to be way better than one. Because now they become mono each, left channel, right channel, and they are accurate. And they can do it wirelessly. You just plug in power, and they both sit there. And they go, I'll play Spotify, blah, 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 on the studio system, or whatever you name it in your thing. And this one will play left, and this one will play right. And their volume controls will line up and match. And as long as you place them knowing that they're not just front-firing speakers, you can get a very Ohm Walsh omnidirectional interesting sound out of it. Because when this starts playing nothing but the left channel, then you have a tweeter, you get up-firing and side-firing mid-range, you get down-firing bass and more mid-range, so you actually get a... I did this sound demo about a week and a half ago, and I am fucking impressed. I had to have the microphone sort of like up here, because and I had this in the windowsill over there, because I wanted it to do its thing. I wanted it to room correct to this weird, awkward position and use that space to project sound out. And it did. And no shit, for like 4 days, I'm going to say 4. I was going to go 5, but I think 5's a lie. 4 days, my living room, these were the only things playing in it. Like to watch TV, or the news, or music. I was just obsessed with listening to the studios. A pair of them, keep that in mind. One if you want to try it out. Two if you have $400 to spend, you don't want to go for Adam T5V. I'm going to keep pointing and yelling, Adam T5Vs. Because here's another thing. These are not Bluetooth speakers. They're not as easy as Bluetooth speakers. You're not going to have a friend show up and pull out his phone and go like, hey man, you got to hear this song. What's your Bluetooth? And tell him this, because it's this that's on your Wi-Fi, so you have to sign into your Wi-Fi network and then be part of your Alexa group. It's not that easy. There are easier ways to get an accessible speaker. These are specifically your babies, for your home. You put one in every room of your house and tell it. If you had multiple of these, which I currently have multiple of them, you could then tell Spotify to play everywhere, and then it'll play everywhere. I will say this, though. I have gotten slightly annoyed. Usually, like, the microphone on the old one was a single microphone right there. And it would not hear me. Oh, it would hear me all right. The newer ones have 4 microphone dots, and that's great. The screen ones that I was just talking about, the one that I paid $170 for, that's a fucking baseball, has 4 microphones real close together on top. It doesn't hear me that well. And the actual, the 5-inch screen one has 2 microphones on top, can't hear me at all. So with an array of 7 microphones, I was hoping this would be like the ultimate in just, I could like whisper in the bathroom and I'd know everything I needed to know. What's the weather in... Alexa, what's the weather in Pakistan?
Which city in Pakistan?
Kerblakenstan.
Sorry, I didn't get that location.
Frelimiksburg? Damn. I was trying to figure it out. I don't know any cities in Pakistan. Alexa, what's the weather in Paris, France?
Right now in Paris, France, it's 56 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies. Today's forecast has lots of clouds, with a high of 63 degrees and a low of 51 degrees.
That's like here. That's actually pretty good. Okay, I'm going to mute you again. So, the microphones work except when you're hammering them. And when I'm hammering them, is what I mean by hammering them is here. I'll unmute them again. We'll put this up to maximum. And by the way, I have, I want to point out the digital signal is cropped 4 decibels? Make it 5 decibels. 5 dB. Because I could tell that it was not, when you give it a Wi-Fi signal, it perfectly knows how to adjust for that. When you give it an external signal, either from 3.5 millimeter analog or optical, you're in charge of the volume, and this is not prepared for that. So you have to sort of like make sure your volumes are all good. But now, Carpenter Brute, I'm going to try to ask it Phoenix, Arizona's weather right now. Alexa, what's the weather in Phoenix, Arizona?
Currently, in Phoenix, Arizona,
yeah,
it's 73
stop.
degrees Fahrenheit
Alexa.
with cloudy skies.
Alexa,
Tonight.
stop. I have to put Alexa warning on the top of this. So it actually heard me after like the third time, and I'm standing on it. Where's my remote? Let's go for a walk. We're not going to go far for a walk. We're just going to go here. Now, all the other ones in my house are responding to echo. So that's the only one that's still the original Alexa. So we're going to unpause Carpenter Brute. And we're going to see when's the next baseball game. Alexa, when's the next baseball? Alexa. Yo, Alexa. Yo, cunt, Alexa. Alexa. When's the next baseball game?
I couldn't find any games.
So, yeah. Honestly, wait, is it still over here? If it's still over here, it's one of the greatest things ever. It's not. I will link it. I should have had it out for this review because I've had it out several times. They make, and I showed it off in the Kanto review of the Kanto speakers. It's essentially this, but about a 1/4 inch high, and it does nothing but what an Echo should do. And what an Echo should do is just be microphones, flash or ring, and connect to a Bluetooth device. And that's all it does. And it connects to USB power. Because that's another thing. Now that this is the cheapest option, it's like, but I don't need that if I'm going to use my own Bluetooth speakers. And that thing, which I don't know where I put it because it's so small. I think it's called the Echo Input. I think it's just called the Echo Input. I think it's linked in the description. Is just a little tiny flat saucer. And you could just sit it on another speaker somewhere. And that hears me the best of any of the devices. I don't know why. It just does. Yeah, so this, I wish you could hear me better because then it would be like, oh, it's easy buy for $200 or $400. Oh, and another thing, when you have both unmuted and both powered, if you don't mute one of them and you say things, like they'll both pick it up and then they'll sort of like fight over who's gonna listen to you. Sound quality is very good. I gotta finish this review before it gets too fucking long. Just these big, massive jugs. Sound quality is very good. They've done a remarkable job. They've picked the right tweet. The tweeter is a lot of the reason I'm praising these. It doesn't hurt. Actually, I was finding if I sat right here, like if I was going to use this on a desk, and this is going to be fucking weird, but if you put this right here, and then you just can compute here, it's great. It's great. I'm going to switch to another song, not Rob Zombie, Jesus. It does.
Good work, by the way. I just want to say it's good work.
Actually, right.
You cross the I's and dot the T's here.
That's who is that? Oh, that's from Desperados. That's Tarantino speaking. I could skip through this and just enjoy it. Wait, we're gonna let it go? I'm sure that's enough to get me demonetized from Disney, so I thank you for all the patrons and subscribe star people, because fuck copyrightclaims.com .org. And don't ask me to go to Floatplane yet. Floatplane's not ready, because Floatplane doesn't take over your public videos. They're just all private videos, and I kind of want 10,000 people to see it, not 500. So Floatplane's not ready for me yet. Plus, YouTube gets yelled at when I play Let It Go. And if I go to Floatplane, I think I'd get yelled at for playing Let It Go. Actually, there's a Frau song called Let Go. It's a quality speaker. And it's one speaker, which bothers the fuck out of me because I love stereo. But even sitting in this space, because it's been playing here for like 2 days, I can actually delineate left and right. There is a sound field coming out of it. I'd rather be running 2, and I wish that I could run optical bounce between. I can actually run optical to each one of them and have it separate left and right if I use my mini DSP Nano Digi. But I wasn't willing to go that far to build a custom profile for it. I could have done it. I will link to the Nano Digi in the description. Zeos link to the Nano Digi. If you want to go absolutely berserk, you could buy 2 of these for $400 and then send your fiber optic from your computer into a Nano Digi, then break that fiber optic into 2 coaxial digitals, which you then have to convert back to fiber optic because that's the only input it'll take, I think. It's just, yeah, optical. It won't do coaxial digital. So you'd have to get converters like, oh, please don't do them. They're worth $200 on their own. This is definitely not making much profit for Amazon. And that's what we like as consumers. We want to get over on the big guy. But at the same time, 2-day free shipping is the greatest thing that's ever been, ever. Lewis Black just did a whole sketch and it's great. Now, getting 2 of them, just like the mini rigs, is sort of where the money shot is. Like, yeah, you can grab one, and grabbing one is fun, and you could play with it all you want. But when you can grab 2, if you already have several of these, or if you use these, cat hair, if you use these in stereo, you know that they are decent. They're actually just getting stereo in your music versus just one puck that's shooting it out, and then having one puck that shoots left and one puck shoots right is an automatic upgrade. And if you wanted to try to add the subwoofer, by all means, but I don't particularly like the way it tries to mix things down. It takes out way too much. It takes out like 115 hertz and below, and that's locatable. 80 is what you need, and these are not big enough to do 80 on their own comfortably. This, on the other hand, is very much well to do 80 on its own. These have low end. These shake shit. And if I ran them both at the same time in this desk, I'm pretty sure I'd die. That is loud. That's Parachute Ending from Birdie Nom Nom. And I'm definitely not getting monetized. I bought this because I wanted to know, and now I know. And I know that it's absolute. By the way, I put these blue and red stickers on so I know which one it is. Although, you can have it identify in the app, say left, and it'll be like, I'm the left one, I'm the left one, and then you can move them around. This is wonderful. 2 of them is more wonderful. It's definitely not a sit and listen and articulate music like an audiophile. Like, the Atom T5Vs will be more perfect stereo when you set them up. But in a giant living room, and you still want to keep the decor down, or like a little bit less insane, 2 of these, you could put them in the corners, and you could fill that living room. Fill it. And it's a Zeos approved sound. So there you go. That's what you want to know. Does Zeos actually approve of these? Yes. Yes, I do. And I'm not just I'm not just a Jeff Bezos fucking fanboy, although that man is insane and I respect him for all his crazy decisions, except for making people die in factories. That's sort of shitty. But I mean, once you get past all the death, guy's pretty nice. These. Link to this. Link to everything I've talked about. I don't even know. I'm going to rewatch these old videos like 6 times. Sound demo. Please check out the sound demo. If you want that wallpaper for whatever reason, you can download that in the description. Crop it out, put it on your phone. I'm pretty sure Jeff Bezos has that on his phone. He doesn't. But I'm going to say it because this is YouTube and no one can prove me wrong. Sound demo, wallpaper, links, hi-fi guides. I'm not sure how I could put this on the forum of hi-fi guides, or even on hi-fi guides in general, because it's not really like a speaker. It is a speaker, but it's so specifically niche in like you have to have the smart speaker. Maybe, I mean, smart speakers are going to be a big part of the future. I think that now that Sonos has a competing product for $200, Sonos, the Google Home Max, and the HomePod, I think they're going to see like 4 or 5 more in the next 3 years. And they're just going to get better and better and better and better and better until, Focal comes out with one that's an $8,000 unit that speaks to you only in French. Only in French. And it sounds perfect. So anyway, that's it for today. I'm going to go put all my echoes back because I can't tell to turn my lights on and off. And you could be like my cousin and have a computer because he's a big Star Trek nerd. He's even watching Picard. I know, it's terrible. But yes, thank you. Goodbye. See you tomorrow for the sound demo or in the description right now.